In this 4-part video series, I'm going on an epic road trip across the southwest of England. I'll be showing you all the best locations across Cornwall, Devon, Somerset and Dorset, and giving you some practical tips along the way.
Geography teacher's wet dream, this.
So if you love road trips, stunning natural scenery, and maybe even some local delicacies,
That pasty is as big as my head.
then this is the video for you.
Honestly, I can't tell you how genuinely happy I am to be here right now.
Hello, by the way, if you're new here, my name's Robbie Who. I make no fuss travel guides and tip videos here on YouTube. So if you're one of the 94% of people that watch my videos but don't subscribe, please quickly do me a massive favour and hit the subscribe button and turn notifications on. Now it's time to grab your popcorn, get a notepad and a pen, and enjoy. This is Road Trip Southwest.
I literally cannot believe what's just happened. Come on!
Coming up in episode 1, I visit the magical county of Somerset and quickly start to wonder why I hadn't visited here sooner. I explore areas of outstanding natural beauty, visit some iconic Somerset landmarks, and of course try some of Somerset's finest cider and cheese. Now let's get this straight, Somerset is often overlooked as a destination for road trips, but in this video I'll show you exactly why this diverse location has so much to offer adventurers just like me and you.
So hello and welcome to this Southwest road trip series. So this part we're actually starting in Somerset. We've driven all the way from Staffordshire down to Weston, which has taken about 2.5 hours. And yeah, we're just on Weston North Beach. And there's a reason I've started the Somerset trip in Weston. Some people that know Somerset really well will probably be screaming at me, why did you go there? It's definitely not the best place in Somerset. But that's not what this road trip's about. This road trip is about me piecing together all of the very best bits of Somerset into a trip that potentially you can take. I'm also researching for my new book, Road Trip Southwest, which will follow this video. And yeah, I'm doing a 3-4 day itinerary. If you did want to do the Somerset road trip, you could pair it on with a trip to Exmoor. You could pair it onto a trip to Devon, Dorset, depending on which way you do it. So plenty of flexibility. And yeah, I'm really excited, really looking forward to getting stuck into Somerset. It's a place that I haven't really been. I came a couple of times as a kid, don't remember much. So yeah, I've got a really cool itinerary planned. And yeah, let's get into it.
Weston was merely the starting point for the trip. However, it's a perfect stop for a family-friendly beach day with attractions such as the Grand Pier offering traditional seaside activities such as arcades, fish and chips and mini golf. The marine lake is also ideal for safe swimming.
So we've moved around the corner from Weston and we're now at Brean Down, and just above the hill is the Brean Down Fort, which is apparently 97 metres up. So me and Archie got a bit of climbing to do, but you're going to be able to get some incredible views of, I believe it's a 7-mile beach, the Brean Sands Beach, which is just the other side of Weston. So if you don't like the hustle and bustle down at Weston, then definitely come over to Brean Down.
Whilst the 1.5 mile walk has a steep start, the views from the top are incredible. You can see over the Bristol Channel to South Wales, across to Weston and back across the Mendip Hills. This was an epic way to start my Somerset road trip and a stop that I'd highly recommend.
So good morning, we are on our first full day on this Somerset road trip. Yesterday I probably didn't mention, I didn't get to Weston until probably 5:30 in the evening. So we actually did well just take a little look around the front. And then obviously we went to Brean Down, which was just spectacular. But yeah, I managed to find this campsite. It's called Petroof Paddocks, and it's glorious this morning. I mean, sunshine definitely helps. But yeah, I found it on PitchUp last night. I didn't have anywhere to stay and left it last minute. But I'm glad I found this place because the facilities are really, really good. They've got this electric system where you don't pay for an electric hookup, you pay for the electric you use. I was a bit worried about how much I was going to use, and I spent £2 overnight. So it's actually worked out cheaper than paying for, you know, like a full price electric pitch. And if you can see behind me, just over there in the background, that's the Mendip Hills, and that's where we're going to be exploring today. Only thing is, I've come on this trip a little bit unprepared. I've gone to basically have a shower this morning. I've got no shower gel, so I've ended up putting some of Jazzy's night cream stuff in my hair in the shower. I don't know why I did it. My hair's just gone not good. I've also realised I've got no boxers or socks, so yeah, I'm gonna head to Tesco now and get some fresh ones. The great thing about Somerset as well is there's a lot of dog friendly places, so Cheddar Gorge is completely dog friendly. So me and Arch are going to go and have a few hours up there.
Located in the Mendip Hills, Cheddar Gorge is one of England's most spectacular natural landmarks. There are a number of caves, gorge walks and attractions to check out. Plus, it's located right by the village of Cheddar, home to the world's very best cheese.
As far as caves go, this is pretty impressive. I'm not going to give too much away, but we're in Goff's Cave here at Cheddar Gorge. Some of the formations and geology and the way that it's naturally formed, it's just incredible. But yeah, we're going to carry on through the cave. It is pretty amazing. Me and Arch have just shared a nice breakfast sandwich at the Lion Rock Tea Room, place I'll probably include in my new guide. So we're just going to move on and do the next cave here at Cheddar Gorge, and then we're going to go up to the lookout, do a little walk, and yeah, the day is turning into a really good one. There we go. Whoa. So we're in Cox's Cave, one of the other caves here at Cheddar Gorge. I have to say, this bit here looks absolutely remarkable. It looks a little bit like what I'd presume the inside of a human body would look like. We've just come out of Cox's Cave, which was again pretty interesting. I mean, if you're into geology or caves or anything, obviously this is going to be right up your street. If you've got kids, they'll love this place. So we're just walking up Jacob's Ladder, which is 274 steps up to the top of the gorge, where supposedly we can start a gorge cliff walk. And after all the steps going up yesterday to Brean down, Archie is not happy. Poor old boy gets made to go all the way up these steps. Come over to this little river waterfall, and I thought, oh look, there's some nice koi carp in there. Obviously I haven't got my glasses on, the traffic cones. I mean, that's definitely when you know you're in England. So generally it's been a really nice morning here at Cheddar Gorge. I'm just going to have a drive up through the gorge itself. I think it's like the B135, something like that, probably got it wrong. But you can drive free of charge, normal public road, and it sort of carves its way through the gorge. So I'm just going to head up there now. Might fly the drone, and then we're off to our next destination. But I mean, Cheddar Gorge, if you're in this part of Somerset, you've got to stop by. One of them must stop places here in Somerset. So before I leave Cheddar, there's one last thing I've got to do, and of course I've got to go and buy the cheddar. This cheese is going to pair nicely with another product I'm about to buy just after we buy the cheese. You'll see what I mean. Very much. Bye. Mature. Mellow. So I've made the 15-minute drive from Cheddar up to the north part of the Mendip Hills, and right now we are at Thatcher's Cider, where there's a farm shop where we can get some fresh Thatcher's cider. You can also do a tour. It's fully booked for the next few days, so I can't get on it. but if you're into cider and you particularly love Thatchers, this is the place to come. So we're going to go and check it out, buy a couple of tinnies, and hopefully that's going to pair nicely with the cheese we've just bought. I don't know, I'm not really a culinary expert, just cheese and cider work, don't know. Comment below if you think it's going to.
Was it just that you looked at? Yeah.
So I ended up buying my mum a few bottles. She loves the Thatchers Haze. I've gone with the Thatchers Blood Orange, which I've never tried. It's going to go in the fridge. I'm going to pair it with my cheddar cheese for a proper Somerset snack. Happy days. And just 5 miles down the road from the Thatchers cider shop is Blagdon Lake, which is a reservoir just on the north part of the Mendip Hills. You can see the Mendip Hills just in the background. So if you're looking for somewhere just to stretch the legs, walk the dog, this is the ideal place. And now we're actually at Wells, which is England's smallest city. We're going to explore the town. There's a lot of history here. There's obviously the big famous cathedral, and it's a place I've never been. So me and Arch are just currently at Vickers Close in Wales. Now this street is meant to be one of the most perfectly preserved examples of medieval construction anywhere in England. So all of these little cottages date back 650 years. And they were made to house, I think, people from the Vickers Choir, something like that. I think that's why it's called Vickers Close. But yeah, I wouldn't say I was the biggest fan of history, but seeing some of these oldie-worldy buildings, it is pretty cool. Anyway, just a quick update. My camera battery died just at the back end of what I was recording. But Wells, I'm really impressed with this place. Me and Arch had a little walk around the cathedral. And when you first get into that main section and like realise the size and the scale of the place, it's breathtaking, honestly. Apparently it's got the biggest collection of stained glass windows anywhere in the country. Then literally just around the corner you've got Vickers Close, the medieval street, and then around the corner from Wells Cathedral, if you're going back the other way, you've got the Bishop's Palace and Garden. You need to pay entry on them as well. I didn't do that, I had a quick walk around and it looks really nice. I need to call in at Tesco and find some pants and socks. Not really something I thought I'd be talking about on this video, but there we go. After I've found some pants and socks, we're going to have a look around Glastonbury Abbey, and then we're going to finish today off with a sunset, hopefully, on Glastonbury Tor. So I'm here at Glastonbury Abbey, and this place dates back originally to the 12th century, and it was actually one of the first Christian monasteries. On a day like today, I thought I would come and check it out. Really peaceful. It's interesting they're setting up for an event. They've got some band on, I think possibly this weekend. So you might be able to catch, you know, like a live event or a live band when you're here. We're finishing this epic day in Somerset with a walk up Glastonbury Tor, and as you can tell by my breathing, or lack of it, a little bit steep again, considering we did, what, 300 steps earlier up. It's going to be worth it because the sun and the weather.
Now if you sat at home wondering, the cheddar cheese and blood orange cider made for a great pairing.
If you've never been to Glastonbury before or visited Glastonbury Tor, you're probably wondering why there's so much sort of significance. And so yeah, I did a bit of research, and there's a lot of links to King Arthur and the Holy Grail and stuff. That's the reason why there's so many people up there practicing all of their sacred spiritual rituals and stuff. I mean, no matter when you go, you're going to come across some weird and wonderful people, and I'm all for it. There's people up there lighting incense sticks, burning sage, doing breathing exercises, lots of spiritual stuff. To stark contrast up in Scotland, and it was funny because on the way down there was a guy with his eyes closed like this. The sun was hitting him in the face, and a Scottish bloke walked past him and said, "You're right there, pal, taking in the sun, are you?" And it's just it cracked me up. Chalk and cheese, couldn't be more opposite if they tried. And yes, I am a little bit gutted I didn't stay there right till the end of sunset. It's getting a bit cold up on there. We're both knackered, especially Archie. He was ready to come back. So we're going to go to the campsite for the night and bring this incredible day to an end. And to be honest, I'm a little bit gutted that I haven't been on a road trip to Somerset sooner, because it is turning into one hell of a road trip, let me tell you.
So, you're going on a road trip to Cornwall, Devon, Somerset or Dorset? Then you definitely need Road Trip Southwest, the ultimate guidebook by Amazon best-selling travel writer Robbie Who, featuring incredible locations, practical tips, and stress-saving hacks to ensure your road trip to the southwest of England is simply unforgettable. Written in a no-fuss style, this book has everything you need from itineraries to hotels and campsites to beaches. Each must-see location comes with a postcode and what 3 words reference to make your road trip easy and stress-free. Order Road Trip Southwest right now for only $16.99, including free UK delivery.
Good morning. So today I'm going to head to Exmoor National Park, a place I've never been before. Really looking forward to exploring some of the sites and places. Exmoor is actually split in half. Half of it, the east side, is in Somerset and the west side of it is in Devon. Now, in theory, I should probably carry on my trip around the coast and go from Exmoor, Somerset side, into Devon and following it that way. But because on this trip I'm only going into Somerset, we're not going to do that. So we are ready, packed up, and we're going to get on the road down to Exmoor now. Also got my Tesco socks. Look at these bad boys.
I made a brief stop at the Quantock Hills, which was actually the UK's first ever designated area of outstanding natural beauty. There are a number of trails that take in ancient woodlands, rolling hills and coastal paths, all of which make for a perfect dog walk or hike. My next location was the historic harbour town of Watchet, home to a fossil beach located on the West Somerset Railway. A great place to explore for an hour or two.
Our next stop of the day is Dunster Castle, which you can see behind me. Now this is a National Trust place. Across the southwest there's quite a few National Trust places and car parks, so it might be worth considering getting a National Trust membership. Me and Jazz have got one recently. I knew I was coming down southwest a lot. Even just the car parks are going to save you a few quid. It's one of the most visited places in this part of Somerset, and so far I'm really impressed with it. Dogs are allowed. They're not allowed to go into the castle, but they can go around the grounds. There's a couple of cafes that they can also go into. Yeah, really impressive, obviously historical place, and the best thing about it is the views on sort of surrounding edges of the castle walls. And there's a working Victorian water mill, which we're going to go and have a look at in a sec. And another place you might want to call in when you visit Dunster Castle is this place behind me, which is Dunster Village. Just down the road from Dunster Castle is Minehead. You may be familiar with Minehead. Obviously there's the large buildings here, and it wouldn't be an English seaside town if it wasn't absolutely pissing it down. But one thing I think you should check out is this. This is the West Somerset Railway. So it's actually the longest independent steam railway anywhere in the whole of the UK, and it runs for 20 miles from here, and it cuts through some of Somerset's most beautiful scenery. Quantock Hills, where we were earlier, a few other places. There's 10 stops along the way. Dogs are allowed. You can even order stuff such as cream teas. So if you're on a road trip in Somerset and you fancy just like a few hours from driving and stopping and starting and stopping and starting, definitely check this place out. I haven't planned ahead, and there are no trains running today, so make sure you check ahead. Otherwise me and Archie would be sat on one of these carriages right now, probably heading to see some of this magnificent Somerset scenery. So we're going to get back in the van and we're going to head into Exmoor National Park and check that out. So we've made our way from Minehead. The drive was about 20 minutes and we're in Exmoor National Park. Me and Arch are just on a short hike to Dunkery Beacon, which is actually the highest point on Exmoor National Park. And outside of Dartmoor, it's the highest point in the whole of southern England. So it's actually 519 metres from sea level. And on a normal day, when it's not raining and pretty bleak, you can get views all around the area, out to the Bristol Channel. And I can faintly see in the background some rolling hills and more that I think with a bit more visibility would look pretty spectacular. But can't always guarantee the weather. We are in the UK, really peaceful. Just seen a couple of wild deer. So yeah, it ain't too bad, is it? You know what, I'm actually buzzing right now. We're just driving from Dunkery Beacon, where we just were, the highest point on Exmoor. I'm going to Tar Steps and I've finally come across the elusive Exmoor ponies, and there's a load of them. So I'm just going to step out now, try not to scare them off. So welcome to Tar Steps, and as the name suggests, beautiful set of steps that crosses this river. And unfortunately, don't know what's happened, but the steps only go to sort of halfway at the minute. So I'm here in April 2023, so if you're watching this video back, they might be repaired. I think so, because apparently this is a really popular spot, but it's such a picturesque spot. Makes for a wonderful photo, so if you're into Instagram like me, by the way, if you've got Instagram, go and follow me at Robbie Who. Sorry for the plug. And if it was a bit warmer, I'd probably be dipping my feet in there. Me and Archie have just had a pint and our dinner at the Tar Farm Inn next to the Tar Steps. Got to wait a little while, the kitchen didn't open until 6:30. But it was worth the wait, to be honest. And if you're wondering, Archie even enjoyed his side of sausages. I was speaking to a couple in there and they were asking about my travel guides and YouTube videos and stuff. And they said, what if you go somewhere for dinner or you visit a location and it's rubbish? Generally that doesn't happen that often, because the research and planning I do before I go on a trip or before I write a book, I generally have a gist whether something's going to be good or not. And if I do go there and it's not good anyway, I generally will say, or I'll call it out on the video, or I won't bother putting it in my book. And to be fair, a lot of people that do YouTube and social media, they only ever write and record stuff that's like sunshine and lollipops. And unfortunately the world isn't like that. I literally cannot believe what's just happened. I drove to a campsite around the corner from the Tar Steps Inn. Thought that was the campsite for the night. And you go through the main gate and the farmer's doing some work and he's like, oh yeah, hiya, go and see my wife, she'll sort you out, she's at the reception, house, whatever. Goes down there, there's no one there, but I'm stroking their collies for about 10 minutes thinking, oh, she must be out or something. I go and drive round to the actual campsite. I pull my phone up, I've ordered the pitch on pitchup.com, and I was thinking, have they given me a pitch number I can just pull up? And realised it's the wrong campsite and this one's like another 6 miles away. It would have been an interesting conversation when she didn't have my booking confirmation. For now, me and Archie are going to get tucked up in bed, stick something on Netflix, and yeah, get an early night. Today's going to be my last full day doing this Somerset road trip. Now, if I was carrying on around the coast of Devon, I would have probably not come so far south into Exmoor and carried on along the coast, probably stopping at places like Porlock, Linton and Lynmouth, Valley of the Rocks, and going that way. And that's part of my 7 or 10 day southwest complete road trip itinerary, which you can find in my new Road Trip Southwest book. Today we're heading a bit further sort of southeast and then start making our way north. Got quite a few stops today that I'm really looking forward to. So we've made our way to our first stop. The sun's starting to come out, hence why I'm squinting. We're at Ford Abbey. So this place was founded about 800 years ago by a group of Cistercian monks, and what's left of it today is this beautiful country house, which is set in 30 acres of garden, which it really is the main attraction here. Apparently there's 50,000 tulips currently blooming. You can see some over there in the background. Selection of ponds and just a really nice walk through these gardens. There's also a coffee shop tea room here. Me and Archie just had a hot chocolate and scone with cream and jam. We'd probably avoid the scone. It was the driest, fluffiest, stuck in the back of the throat thing that I've probably ever had, but can't win them all. What I will say is, if you're doing a road trip around Somerset or you're passing through, there's obviously a lot of these beautiful historical houses, gardens, castles, so on and so forth. And if you were to stop at each of them, A, it would take a lot of time, B, it would probably cost quite a lot. And don't get me wrong, the gardens, the scenery is absolutely stunning, but can I justify paying £14 to be here? Not so sure. But if you are someone that appreciates horticulture, plants, these beautiful gardens, then I'm sure you can. So yeah, you just got to make your mind up really. And that is exactly my point proven. So I've just been speaking with a couple that have come all the way from Maidstone in Kent, which is a good old drive, just to come to this place. So we've made it to our next interesting stop of the day. I only found this one the other day by doing a bit of hunting on Instagram. So right behind me, that's King Alfred's Tower, and it was constructed in the late 1700s for a king that actually died, I think it was like in 982, so there was quite a big gap between him dying and then building the tower. So we are just on the East Somerset border, close to Wiltshire, and this is a National Trust place. I think it's only like £5. You can actually go inside and go up to the top.
Our next stop was a bit of a wild card for a road trip, but a place I really enjoyed nonetheless. We visited Shepton Mallet Prison, a famous and historical former prison in the heart of Somerset. You can take a guided tour of the prison or jump onto an official tour led by a former prison guard.
So yeah, quite interesting to learn about some of the history, some of the gruesome deaths, the bodies buried there, all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff. We're going to move on to our last couple of stops. We're going to go to Nuni Castle and then we're going to go to Frome. Let's get going. So this impressive looking castle, complete with a moat, is Nuni Castle, located in this really picturesque, quaint little village of Nuni, which is not too far from Shepton Mallet, not too far from Frome where we're about to go. And the great thing is, it's completely free to come and have a look around it. We bring our Somerset road trip to an end in the town of Frome. spelled Frome. Still can't get my head around that. And quite honestly, it's one of the most charming, quaint, picturesque towns you're ever likely to find anywhere in the whole of the UK, let alone in Somerset. The Catherine's Hill, this little street behind me, it's just full with independent shops, cafes. There's a couple of restaurants and bars. Me and Archie have just been to 8 Story Street. Highly recommend. I mean, you haven't got to spend a lot of time here before you actually really enjoy the place. And quite a fitting way to end this road trip, really. In just a short 3 or 4 days, we've seen so many places. We've visited so many different locations, towns, villages, countryside, pubs, the lot. But yeah, it has been immense. And since I've been doing these road trips, I do kind of regret not coming to Somerset sooner. And if you sat watching this at home on YouTube thinking, well, I don't really want to go to Somerset for 3, 4, 5 days, that's absolutely fine. You could easily condense it into a 2 or 3 day itinerary, such as the one in my new book. So you can easily start in Somerset and work your way around to Devon and Cornwall. There's so many possibilities, but definitely a place that you shouldn't overlook. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do really appreciate it. Next video after this in the Southwest series is going to be Devon. I'm really looking forward to that. I know so many places down there that are going to be epic. Check me out on Instagram at Robbie Who, and I'll see you all soon.